Alright, so day 2 of, well, I guess technically it's day 3 of doing the EG. The first day, obviously, got a race like I mentioned in the first video. So day 3, video 2 of doing the EG. So today, I guess I'm going to go up to the parts store here in a minute and try to get an alternator belt, because before it was running AC on the Prelude. So I got to get the proper belt that just runs the alternator, and then also I've got to get those 5/8 heater core hose plugs. That way I can block off this heater hose outlet and the one that's on the side of the head on the other side, like I mentioned in the first video. So I've got to get those, and like I said, I got to measure for the belt here. So I've kind of just got to, I'm gonna take a piece of rope and measure it and hopefully get something pretty close, and then other than that, it'll be kind of ready to start putting into the car. One thing I did notice about the Yonaka mounts, it didn't come with any bolts, and you know, thankfully I do have a ton of bolts here, but in the event that you didn't have bolts, it would you know, you may need to make a trip to the hardware store or something, because these back bolts are different than the OEM ones. OEM ones are all like this front one here. But I did notice also that mount don't sit all the way down on that. I don't know if this piece is bent or if there's supposed to be a spacer there or what. So I'm gonna figure all that out too. And then obviously I'll mention whatever I do on the video, so that you guys can replicate this if you're trying to do the F20B or H22 swap into your EG chassis. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to figure it out. I think what I'm going to do is just get this front bolt kind of in there like it is, and then try to install the motor and get the T-bracket on there, and then see where it needs to be placed, because I don't know if I need to pull those back bolts down or if I need to put some spacers in there or what I need to do. So I don't want to put some, I don't want to just put bolts in there and then pull it down and then the mount's too far back, because if I tighten it down there, it's going to pull that mount back a little bit. So that's why I'm holding off on putting a spacer in there or something. So, but yeah, now I've got this up here kind of prepped to where I can go ahead and install the engine in here. I went ahead and also vacuumed out this tray here. They had a bunch of glass remnants in here from where they had taken out the windshield. Here's just a look at this car. I'll probably do more video of it once I get it out of the shop. As you can see, it's got a cage in it, set up for a dirt track. You got the whole back of the car cut off pretty much. No trunk. There's this Kirky seat. You just got to put it over in there and get it mounted up. And they had a light here. That's what the light is for when they was building the cage. Go around here. You can kind of see here they got the door bars and stuff in there, and it's pretty cool. They haven't welded the doors shut yet, but I mean, it's a shell of a door, right? So usually on these dirt track cars, if you're not familiar with them, they pretty much get it to the bare bones, and they'll actually just put a tack weld or a screw or something to hold this door closed. Yeah, I got all the dash harness and stuff out of it last night. I also took out the ABS, I think it's ABS, no, it's the airbag computer that goes right here on top of this little pedestal. So there's some of the wiring and stuff that I took out last night, so all this is going in the trash. Also, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the fuel line, because the fuel line on the EG or on the Civic and the like Integras and stuff, they're on, the fuel fitting is on this side of the fuel rail on the passenger side, and on that H motor it's on the driver's side. So I'm gonna have to figure out something to do with that too. Alright, so we got this mount kind of dummied up. That cheap powder coat popped right off. And this mount over here, we trimmed it to where it would clearance here. Now I still got to drill out this hole here to where I could put the bolt through. It's pretty common. I see a lot of people do it like that. And then on the rear mount, I think it does not need those spacers that I was talking about earlier. It'll just bolt directly down onto the subframe. I think it's just bent, and that's why it had that gap. So once I put some bolts in the rear two holes and pull it down, it'll pull the rear mount up to where it needs to be so I can get my bolt in there. Got to do something different with the fuel filter because obviously that's not going to work. The TPS was hitting the fuel line, but I was able to push the fuel line back to where it's not touching the TPS anymore, so the rest of it has ample clearance back here. Yeah, it's a tight fit for sure. Alright, so I've got the F20B bolted in with two bolts, basically the driver's side mount and the passenger side mount now. You see it here? I just drilled another hole here and drilled it all the way through, and I gotta put a nut on the back side, and see the engine hoist is loose. But as some other YouTubers that I've seen that do swaps and stuff, they would say, hey, this F20B is swapped in here now. Nah, fam, there's still a lot of work left. Bolting the motor into something is not making it swapped. Alright, so we got a little more done here. I wound up having to unbolt the fuel filter from where it was. I moved it over and then put some rev nuts in there that allowed me to have clearance here. You can see it's not hitting my intake at all. I was just able to move this line to where it would clears everything back here, and so that worked out pretty good. And so obviously this pipe is not permanent right now, and I just got the header, the top part of it bolted on. I went ahead and got I used the stock line for the clutch slave and put it onto the H series slave cylinder, so we're good to go there. Let's see, what else did we have to do? I think that's all I've done right now. I've got that rear mount bolted completely on. I just tightened up the rear two bolts and then finished tightening down the front one, and I've also got the bolt in the actual mount there. And then I've tightened down this bolt that goes through this one and that one. Got the ground strap on here. I just put it on one of these little had two 10 mil holes already on top, so I just used one of those, put it in there, good to go. So now just got to make the little jumper for the distributor, and got some little stuff like I need to run this is a Japanese manifold, and so it had originally a 3-wire aisle air control valve that has been converted over to a 2-wire aisle air control valve, and it's actually posted up down there. But some of the some of the coolant lines that were run on it were in poor shape, so I took those off, and I've got to get a couple more coolant lines. And that you can see like a little nipple here, and there's one like right there that I've got to get some coolant lines and run one to the throttle body and then the other one to our aisle air control valve down there. So other than that, and I've got to put the shifter mechanism in along with the shifter cables, and then I've got to put the axles in, and then I've got to do the fuel line from the filter over to here. So it's coming together. It's just trying to figure some of this stuff out. It's been a while since I've messed with one of these H series EGs, so it's a little bit of a learning process along the way, but we're gonna make it. Alright, so I guess that's pretty much gonna wrap up today's video. Hopefully tomorrow we can be able to install the axles and do the rest of the fuel lines, and let's see what else we got to do. Alternator belt. Finish doing the charge wire for the alternator, the wire for the like the main power wire for the starter, hooking up like the interior harness. Like I've got it stubbed through the firewall now. the engine harness goes through the firewall. And then I also got to do the jumper harness for the distributor and the shifter mechanism and the axles. I think I'd already mentioned the axles, but got to do the shifter mechanism too. And then it should be pretty much done. There's not a lot left on it. I mean, well, there is a lot left, but it's not a lot left. You know what I mean? Like, I would say at this point that it's at least halfway there, right? So, but anyways, I don't really know where it left off, but just a couple little small things, and hopefully I can complete most of it tomorrow. I really need to get this thing done before Christmas and get it back to him so that he can go to his dyno appointment next Tuesday. So the Tuesday after Christmas. Christmas on Friday. He's got a dyno appointment for the 29th, which is the following Tuesday. So, yeah. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in for video 2 of the episode. Be sure to check back tomorrow and see video 3. So, see ya when you get to that one. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the bell for notifications. Leave me a comment below and like the video. Those things help me out, guys, and it don't cost you anything. See you tomorrow. Peace.